So I wanted to sort of do like a recap of the last 12 weeks of my training. I've been training for the Garage Gym competition. It's a virtual powerlifting competition that is going to take place it's the week of like May 15th through the 23rd, I think. So I am actually going to submit my lifts on Sunday, May 23rd. So it's coming up in just a little over a week. So pretty much this week I'm doing like my last week of sort of like heavy lifting, and then next week is just going to be sort of taking it easy. So I've been following since the beginning of March their 12-week program for it. They put out just sort of like you basically put your numbers into an Excel program, and it sort of programs for you each week. So just going through really quick, this is all these little videos right here are from the beginning of March. So I just started kind of like putting in all of these deadlift clips, mostly just so I have them all in one place, just kind of fun to look back on all of them. And I'm most proud of how far my deadlift has come in the last year or so. One of my biggest goals going into the competition was to hit 300. My best previous was 275s, and that was with lifting straps. Last year I pulled 260. This is actually 260 right here that we're watching. That I pulled, I want to say it was maybe sometime in April. So I felt like really good about that, and kind of like the quest for 300. I was getting a lot of confidence in it. So one of the biggest things with the deadlift for me that I've worked on in the last year is improving back strength, upper back, mid back, low back, all of it. A lot more pull-ups, a lot more pull-downs, all kinds of rowing, things like that. And then just practicing deadlift, just being very, very consistent with practicing deadlifts and not overdoing it as well. Deadlifting once, maybe twice a week. So all those little cues, there's so many awesome resources out there to follow, and, different people in the strength and powerlifting community that I find tons of inspiration from, men, women. So just a lot of little tips and just finding my own style and my own little things that work. And I'm sure, as the years go on, I'll continue to deadlift, and maybe, things will change here and there. Breathing is always a big thing, and I think that I've really got that down. This was 275, and this was, I believe it was at the end of April. This was my first time ever pulling 275 with no wrist straps, just totally felt great about it. A couple weeks later, I pulled 283 right here. I did fail the first rep of it and took a little break, came back to it, just felt like, you know what, I can do this. So made that happen, which I felt awesome about. And then here's a couple of my clients that are actually doing the competition with me. So they're definitely fairly new to deadlifting and barbell work in general. So they've given me tons of inspiration, and I am so excited to see what they can do. So just recently, I actually did hit 300, which kind of was inspiration for me doing this recap because it's kind of fun to look back on. So just, felt great. Loaded it up, went for it. I figure the worst thing that happens is I got to set it down. But I was able to get a good pull out of it, lock it out, and this was a massive confidence booster for me. I kind of didn't know what to do at the end. I just started awkwardly clapping. So I feel good about deadlifts going into it. Back squats. Last year in the competition, I submitted a lift of 235. I attempted 237, but I didn't think it was deep enough. So, I don't know this year. I think the highest I've gone in training is 224 a couple of times. And, if I had to rate it on an RPE, it was pretty close to 10 for me. So, we'll see. I've been having some kind of issues with my left hip that I've been trying to work through, going to like a specialist to kind of do a lot of like mobility and a little extra care around that. So we'll see. Squats of the 3 lifts is, you go in phases where you're like, oh, I love squats this week and I hate deadlifts or whatever, but squats is consistently probably my least favorite. But, if I can get into, maybe a 240, I would be so over the moon about that. So, last year I was a PR. That was definitely a PR. So, if I can hit close to that or exceed it, then I'm pretty pumped about that. But since last year, a couple changes to the gym have happened. Got another rack, which a couple of these video clips I think show it in the background, and just a couple improvements to the gym, which I've put in like other videos and stuff. But it's been a ton of fun working down there, and as you know, with a home gym, it never ever ends, which is the best part of it, really, because it's just like a constant, hobby. And with doing personal training and having all kinds of people down there all the time, it's a lot of fun to expose people to like different equipment and stuff like that, maybe things that they've never done before, like all the different kinds of barbell training that you can do with all the different kinds of like specialty bars, regular bars, whatever. Let's see. Here's the new rack. This is a new-ish rack. I think this was actually 224 from just this past week. So I'm looking at another squat workout on this coming Saturday, which will put me just about 7 days away from the competition, and I probably won't go too much heavier than what you're looking at right now. So moving on to bench, I've definitely made progress in bench since last year. In the competition, I did 127 pounds, which I know that sounds like nothing, but bench is a tough one for me. This year, just in the year of training, I've exceeded that 127 several times in training, and I've hit 130 a couple times. So, if I can hit 135, I'll be pumped about that. It's like, it's just one of those things where any little tweaks I can pick up on bench, I'm going to use. All right, so hope you enjoyed that little recap. It was kind of fun to look at all that for the last 12 weeks. I will check back after the competition and let you know how all three of us did. Hopefully we can all get some good PRs.